Welcome to my Supercar Live. Today we're going to be covering cleaning leather seats. Cleaning leather seats is something that you need to do if you've got a light coloured interior, and you will need to do it on dark coloured cars, but it's not as noticeable. The thing is, with a light colour you get dye transfer. If you're wearing blue clothes, blue jeans, anything blue, or even just a sort of blue colour, you're going to transfer it onto the seats. It does happen with dark colours as well. If you wear black jeans, that will also transfer onto the seats. For some reason, leather just seems to absolutely love the dye from clothes. The lighter the leather, the more it loves the blue. And I don't know what causes it, and I can't find anything that stops it from happening. No matter what you seem to put on afterwards, it will still happen. But the thing is, you can mainly protect it by cleaning it off with a light cleaner. You don't want to use anything too abrasive. Harsh chemicals, abrasive cleaners, they're no good for leather. The thing that you've got to remember is you're going to be cleaning this leather more often than you are if it was a darker colour. And because of that, you're going to clean it more often, which means you want to use something that's not harsh, not abrasive, that isn't going to take the painted finish. All leather's painted, that's how it gets the colour, and you want to make sure that you're not taking that paint off. So what do you need to use to clean leather seats? It's really simple. You just need brushes, microfiber cloth, a vacuum cleaner, and the right type of cleaner. The cleaner that we're going to use is Autobrite Direct Leather Cleanse. It's a great all-purpose cleaner. I have tried using an interior upholstery cleaner on leather, but I didn't find that it worked as well as a proper leather cleaner does. You can use any type of brush, really. We use anything from the cheap detail brushes to a ColourLock leather cleaning brush, which is probably one of the best for the job. It feels rough when you touch it, but to be honest, as with anything in detailing, if you're using it on a fabric, if you can rub it on the back of your hands and it doesn't hurt too much or leave marks, then it's safe to use on a fabric. That's the golden rule. To protect the leather afterwards, you can do a certain amount of things, but I've never actually found anything that stops the dye transfer. I've used everything from the auto glims to the more expensive conditioners, but they don't really stop the transfer. It may prolong it for a short period. The only thing you can do is just keep cleaning it as and when it appears. When we jump over to the Range Rover Sport, you're going to see that the seat is quite dirty. Now, you've got to bear in mind, I cleaned the seats at Christmas and it's now the 14th of March. And it's nice and sunny today, which is why we're doing a video. So you'll realise how quickly the build-up of dirt and contamination happens. What happens with a leather interior is they mainly start from the factory as a matte finish in a premium car. In the Ferrari and the Range Rover, both seats are matte leather. We also have a Mini and a Saab, and the Mini is more of a plasticky type leather. It's got a more of a not a shiny finish, but more of a sort of satin finish. It doesn't come to the matte as you can see in both of these two cars. We've also got a Saab, and the Saab leather, it's hard to describe, but it's quite more like vinyl. It's really shiny. It's not my preference of leather. I prefer a leather that's nice and soft and supple, whereas which these are, as you can see, you can sort of squish it and it feels nice and soft. Whereas in that, it's more of like a utilitarian leather. It would suit a 4x4 more than it suits a convertible, but there you go. So what you want to do is, you may find that the parts where you sit, like on the seat base, and sometimes on the bolsters, you'll get a shiny patches, and the shiny patches shouldn't be shiny, they should be matte. And what that is that's a combination of clothes polishing the surface when you're getting in and out, and also ingraining dirt and oils and so forth into the finish. Sorry about that. Dirt and grain into the finish, and you need to be removing that, which you've got to do by agitating the surface with the cleanser, with the brush, and then wiping away the deposits that you've taken off basically while they're still in the foam. You need to remove it while it's in the foam, because if you let that foam dry, it'll just go back in. So let's move over now and we'll get the cleaning done. Okay, So what we're going to do first of all, the seat has been hoovered completely. By hoovering I mean you've got to get in all these little crevices just to make sure that you get any bits of seeds. If you've been eating McDonald's in your cars and you've got your seeds everywhere, any grit, anything like that, that all needs to be removed before you start. You can see there is a couple of scratches in this seat. It's a well-used car, but you can also see the leather's quite grubby. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape off half of this front bolster so that you can see the difference in the cleaning. Now you don't need to take them off when you're doing them at home, just clean the whole front section, but this is just for demonstration purposes. We're using Cheapo detailing brushes, cheap microfiber towels, doesn't really matter, and a ColourLock brush. So you can either spray directly onto the seat or you can spray onto your brush, whichever's your preference. My preference is to spray onto the brush because then it doesn't go everywhere. So we'll just give the brush a couple of sprays and then just start working in circular fashion, making sure that we get into all the crevices and getting a good lather. The lather is the key to cleaning the leather seats because that's where all the dirt's encapsulated, and then you can remove it quite easily. Just give it a quick wipe over the microfiber cloth and you're done. And it's that simple. You just got to do it all over the seat. So what we'll do now is I will just quickly show you, if you're spraying directly on, just don't let it soak in. And this is the ColourLock brush, which is good for removing medium and heavy sort of contamination. I do find that it doesn't foam up as much and probably uses slightly more product, but it is really good at doing this. Just remember to give it a wipe. That's your key, because like I say, all of your dirt, oils, residue, dye is all sort of encapsulated in your cleaner at that point. Because this isn't that dirty, we'll just give it another quick once over with the Cheapo detailing brush, getting in all the edges. And like I say, you're going to get mainly your dye transfer, I find, tends to be in these areas on the sides where you get in and out. You can see here there's quite a large patch of dye or dirt or whatever it might be. So we'll just give that a quick going over. The foamier the better. Quick wipe over, as you can see, it's a lot better. It doesn't take a lot of work, it just takes a lot of time, and that's the main thing with all aspects of detailing. Is it's not always that hard, it's just time consuming more than anything else. So let's see what it's like with the tape taken off. There you go. Definite difference in colour. So all we need to do now is carry on where we left off. A couple of sprays into the brush. Build up a good lather. Like I say, this is why you want to be using something that's not so aggressive a cleaner. Just that way it ensures that you can do this time and time again, and you're not going to run into any problems with your leather finish coming off afterwards, because that's not what you want to be doing. You want to be cleaning the surface, you don't want to be removing it. So let's go with these. Looking a lot better. Like I say, with the detailing brushes, if you can rub them on your hand, it doesn't hurt, doesn't leave marks. Perfect for using on any types of fabric. If you have perforated leather, you don't want to spray the product onto the seats directly, because it will go through the perforation into the sub layers of the seat. Which will cause you problems, especially if you've got like a heated seat or a ventilated seat and you've got perforated leather. You really do want to be careful to make sure that you only spray onto the brush and not directly onto the seat. It will cause you problems. There you go, you can sort of see how easy this process is. It's just time consuming more than anything else, especially when you've got a car that's got full leather dashboard, leather headlining, leather rear deck and so forth. It does take time, but it's worth it, especially on a nice sunny day. You've got nothing else to do. You come out, clean the car. Okay, just do that. Get the lather up before it dries. And all your dirt's coming out into the towel. Nice and simple. I hope you found this leather tutorial video useful. If you have, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more great videos. See you next time.